The best moments between Spongebob and Sandy. Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Laffy Tunes. Spongebob's friendship with Patrick may be front and center, but he has some incredible moments with Sandy too. Now, Sandy is the city's land squirrel. In fact, the two go through a lot over the course of the show's run, and at some point, it seems as though SpongeBob relates to her better than anyone else. Let's take a look at their best moments in the show. They meet each other because of a giant clam. SpongeBob and Sandy's friendship start off in a rather peculiar way. That is to be expected with this show though. While jellyfishing, SpongeBob sees Sandy engaging in a tussle with a giant clam. SpongeBob immediately runs to her when the clam tries to eat her. SpongeBob jumps on his back and tries to open its jaw. But Sandy, who ends up being successful in this task after SpongeBob getting trapped, and Sandy saves him by kicking the clam into the sky. From there, they become great friends and their adventure begins. Their first hangout is hard on SpongeBob. After their first battle with the giant clam, Sandy invites SpongeBob over to her house. SpongeBob of course accepts, but finds himself in quite the predicament once he comes inside. At this point in the series, he does not understand that Sandy survives on air. Thus, SpongeBob is in desperate need of water but tries to force himself to stay after Patrick tells him to. Eventually, SpongeBob and Patrick dry out entirely. However, Sandy does the save the day once, seeing them by giving them water bowls. From there, SpongeBob becomes a regular visitor at Sandy's. SpongeBob seems to have feeling for Sandy. Although SpongeBob and Sandy now are known just for their great friendship, SpongeBob seems to have a bit of a crush on her at the beginning portions of the series. For example, during the Rip Pants episode, he becomes sad when Sandy starts spending more time with Larry than him. In all fairness though, she is understandably mad at SpongeBob when he fakes a drowning accident to deliver the Rip Pants joke. In a later episode, he also buys anchor arms in an attempt to impress her too. Sandy gets SpongeBob fired. Another very cool aspect of Sandy and SpongeBob's friendship is that they both enjoy karate immensely. However, when the two practice their hobby while SpongeBob is working at Krusty Krab, Mr. Krabs tells him that he will be fired if he continues. Thus, SpongeBob tells Sandy he no longer can, but she keeps adding fuel to the fire and eventually karate chops SpongeBob while at picnic. Sadly, Mr. Krabs catches them fighting from here and instantly fires him. Thankfully though, Sandy convinced Mr. Krabs to rehire him. SpongeBob makes Sandy no longer homesick. Anyone who moves away from their home might get homesick, but when it comes to Sandy, it impacts her so much that she decides that she wants to leave Bikini Bottom and move back to Texas. SpongeBob is very sad about this, so he plans a big party at the Krusty Krab to convince her to stay. He also gets her to attend by making Texas jokes, which eventually results in her chasing him and Patrick all the way to the restaurant. When she sees SpongeBob's attempt to bring Texas to Bikini Bottom, she laughs hysterically and opts to stay. They learn that land and sea creatures are equal. Sandy and SpongeBob certainly are competitive with one another in the show. A great example of this is when Sandy argues that land creatures are better, while SpongeBob feels as though that sea creatures are. This leads to Sandy taking off her suits after SpongeBob and the gang make fun of her for it, while the latter go on land and get attacked by seagulls. Thus, they all realize that they are in the wrong, as they all put each other in dangers over something so trivial. Sandy attacks SpongeBob during her hibernations period. Due to the fact Sandy is, of course, a squirrel, she must hibernate during the cold winter in this episode. However, while she is doing so, she asks SpongeBob to take care of her tree dome. Things quickly turn badly when Patrick visits, though as the two fights over who gets to be Pinhead and Dirty Dan. The noise from them fighting wakes Sandy up, and she is a monstrous beast and very angry. She attacks both SpongeBob and Patrick, but once it turns to spring, she goes back to her normal form. Thankfully, SpongeBob and Patrick survive the chaos. SpongeBob makes too many jokes at Sandy's expense. When SpongeBob takes up comedy and performs at the Krusty Krab, he struggles immensely to make the crowd laugh. In fact, Harold roasts his act in front of everyone in the process. Sandy is the one not booing him, which makes what's happened next so awful. SpongeBob insults her big teeth, which makes everyone laugh. From there, he makes a plethora of jokes at Sandy's expense, which upsets her deeply. Yet he continues to. However, she gets him to stop by acting in the way he portrays her to be true his jokes. SpongeBob becomes Sandy's test subject. As the show progresses, the emphasis on Sandy's being a scientist expands immensely. In fact, most of her appearances in the series focus on that aspect, rather than the actual friendship she and SpongeBob have. In fact, she goes as far as to make SpongeBob the person she always tests her experiment on. A lot of the time, it actually leads to SpongeBob being put in danger, Thus, it is a little sad that their dynamic is no longer as close as it once was. Are they married? In one of the episodes of this show, SpongeBob brings up a flashback where he and Sandy get married. Patrick, Mr. Crab, and Squidward are shocked when SpongeBob says it, as they do not remember it occurring. From there, fans catch a glimpse of their wedding and they are equally as surprised by what is happening. However, after a stage light falls down and breaks, it is revealed that it is actually a play. The audience leaves in anger after this occurs, and Mr. Crab goes as far as saying it is the worst play he has ever seen. That is all for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.